Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so we have discussed in our last class about class, object, right? What a class is? A class is a user defined data type, right? Let's say I want to store data of a student. So there is no inbuilt data type where we can store the details of a student like student name, student age, many more. So there is no such type of data like so that we can store the whole details of students at one place, right? So to overcome this problem we have declared our class, and class is basically does what it just combine our data types, our variables or our functions into a single class, and that in that combination of different member functions and variables is termed as encapsulations, right? So this is what we have learned in our last class basically. So we are going to see a practical example how is this, how what the method we are going to use. So if I take about structured programming and I want to create a add function, add functions to only add 5 and 10, then what I can do, I can create a basic function here, and inside this function I can have these three variables, and I'll just call this function inside this main method. So this is what we have done till now using a structured programming, structure method. Now if I want to create the same program but via using our class or functions, right? So we have declared about functions, member functions in our last class, right? Let's create a function, or you can say a class first of all. So instead of writing this all, I can just remove this one, and here I can declare my own class. And what the class name should be, I want to add two numbers, right? So I give the name add two numbers. Now what I want inside this method, first of all I need three numbers. For now we can take static values. Let's say I want to create a, b and c. Okay, a value will be 5 because I want to add two numbers 5 and 10, and this c value is going to store our sum. Okay, okay, so these are this is what class members, right? Class variables, these are termed as class variables. Now I want a function add so that I can add to these two numbers. So this will be termed as class function, or you can say member function, right? So inside this class I will create one more function, void add, and this add function is just going to return cout sum of 5 and 10 is, I'm going to use these variables now. C is equals to a plus b. Okay, so I'll just print C here. So I have created a class with the name add two numbers, and inside this class I have class variables. These are the variables and these are the functions, and we have discussed about two methods to declare a function, right? So we can declare a function inside a class. So what is this? This is a inside a class, right? Because I have declared this function inside my class, so it will be termed as inside class. This is our inside of class, right? And these members and functions combinedly known as members of class. Okay, 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 so you I forgot to, and you just okay, no problem. No. Okay, so these combinedly will be termed as member of class, right? This is our class and the class name has add two numbers because I want to add two numbers 5 and 10. So this will be our class variables and this is our class function. So this class function is inside our class, right? And we have discussed in our last class that I can have a function inside a class as well as outside a class. So what is this? This is the inside a class or outside a class? Obviously this is a inside a class because I have declared this function inside this class, right? So this is our inside of class. Now these members and these functions combinedly known as members of class, right? So okay, now my class is completed. Yes, please. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Add. Hmm. Okay, so are you talking about public protected, right? Public private access modifiers? Okay, forget okay. Okay. Forget about the access modifiers right for now because we haven't learned about that yet. Just think of a simple situation. If I want to add two numbers, if I want to add two numbers in our structured programming, how can we do that? I'll just simply create our void add function and inside this function I can have this members as a variables and this function body, right? But we are now using oops functions, oop methods, right? So in our oops concept, what we do is we first of all create our class and related to this class the variables, the functions all will be inside this class only. Let's say I want to add two numbers, so yes, it's a inside of class. We have learned about two methods, inside of class and outside of a class. So this is an example of inside of class. We haven't seen of outside the class. We are going to see, but first of all, let's run this program first of all. So if I take about the structured programming, if I want to call some method, what can I do? I'll just simply name the function name and I'll just provide the parameters if it has or just the semicolon. So this is going to call the function, right? In a structured programming. No. We don't have any parameters right for now. This is empty parameter, no parameters. Okay, this function is not going to call this add function. Why? Because in our previous example, we have our function everywhere, right? I'll just write here add void add and this add, if I will call something like this add, then this add is going to call this one, not this one. Why? Because in structured programming, simply write our function and to call this function, I'll just simply write the name of the function. So this is going to call our function. But here we are going to use our oops concept. In oops concept, everything is living inside a class, right? So now I want to access this add function. How can I do that? That's the question. So this is the example of our structure programming, how we call our function, right? But now let's take an example of oops. In oops, how do we call a function? Okay, so where the function resides, it is inside our class, right? Let's take a simple example, or you can say a real example. Let's say your name is James, right?
No.
Your name is James, but let's say suppose anyone and your father name is XYZ. Let's just take an example. Okay, for let's say if someone, some guest or some friends will come to you, the first thing he will notice is that this is your father. If he knows your father, then he can easily recognize you, right, that you are the son of XYZ, because you are the son of XYZ, right? So if there is a person who knows XYZ, then he can easily recognize you, right? So you are totally dependent, on your father, right? If your father doesn't exist, then you will not be there, right? If I am here, and suppose if my father doesn't exist, then obviously I'll be no more. So in the same way, if I want to call this function and use this add function, and this function is residing inside this class, so this class can be thought of as his father. He is the father, he is the child. So if I don't know about his father, then how can I know about his son, right? So in the same way, if I want to call this add function, first of all I want to be familiar with this add two numbers, this class, right? So in oops, how do we call our any function? First of all, I need to be have a variable. I need to have a variable of this class. So how do we declare of any variables of this? Just take an example of int a. This is a variable of integer type, right? In the same way, I want a variable of this class, right? So this class is also a user defined data type. So I am going to create a class. I am going to declare a variable. And whenever we declare any variable of any class, then this will be not termed as variables. Now this will be termed as object, a new name to this one. If I declare a simple variables of any inbuilt data type like integer, string, so this will be termed as variables. But the variables of any class is termed as object. So this is an object of this add two numbers. Now I am familiar with this class. Now I want to be connect with this add method, or I want to call this add method. For this I need to use this object first of all, and via using this dot operator, now I can call any function. Now I can call this function add. This is our dot operator. Dot operator, okay. And this is our object. Object means variables of any class. To call this function, what methods or what steps I need to follow? I must be familiar with the class, which basically means I need to have a variable of this class, and after declaring this variable I can call the functions which is inside this class. Just a minute. Hello. Yes. Yes, I am. Which company, ma'am? Sorry. No, no, your voice is not clear to me actually. Oh no, still not. Can I call you back? No, I'll. No, ma'am, it's not actually. Yes, please. इतना आवाज खराब क्यों आ रहा
बोलिए। हाँ।
Yeah, just a minute, please. Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Oh, which company, ma'am? Name, please. No, company name, please. Okay, Biz 2X. Okay. Yeah, sure. You may proceed, please. Approx 3.5. Karmic Solution located in Kolkata. Around 3 months. No, it's not. They have something minimum 45 working days actually, so it will be around 2.5 to 3 months. Not possible. I'm sorry for that. Thank you. Okay, so we were talking about this object, right? So to call this function, the first thing I need to have a variable of this class, and after creating the variable, which means object of this class, I need to use this dot operator, and via using this dot operator I can use any members of this class. Members means not only functions, I can even call the variables like x, or we have a, right? So we can call this a as a. I can even use the variables here. So only using this dot operator. So yes, yes, we are going to use an example. We can use let class. Let me just show you the example of function first. How this function is going to call. So we got an error. Okay, so by default it is private, that's why I need to have use this as public. And what is public I'll tell you later in our next class, but for now I'll just simply make it as public so that we can call this one. and we need to provide a semicolon here after the ending of class. So this is our class, and we haven't done anything in this hour. Let me just simply call the function see out here. Sum of 5 is sum of 5 and 10 is 19. Actually we just have provided the static values here, right, for now only. So this is how we can call a function inside our class, right? So this is a basic example. Now let's suppose I want to access this variables a and b. For this I want to have a getter or setter. Getter means get the value of variable, and setter means set the value of variable. Let's say this a value is 5 right for now, right? But let's say I want to change this 5 to something 10 or 13, anything. Then how can I do that? I need to have a set function to set this value. So how can we do that? We can simply use a function void set a, and inside this I will ask for a value, what the value you need to update. So let's say I'll take this an example of value variable, and inside this I will just simply write this dot a is equals to value. So this is a function especially designed for this variable a. I want to change the value a to 13 when I will call from here. Let's say I want to change the values. I will write obj a dot set a, and inside this function I need to pass a value. So for now a value is what? A value is 13, or you can say 5. And now I want to change this 5 to 13. So how can I do that? I'll just simply call this function, and it is going to update the value of a to value of a 5 to 13. And what is this a? This is a keyword, and we are going to learn about this later. This is a keyword. Okay, this is a keyword. So we are going to learn about this later point of time, but for now you can just simply think of this, that this a can only be accessed within this using this dot operator and this keyword. So now this set a function is going to call, and this function is provided value as the value 13, right? So this 13 value will be initialized with a. This a will be initialized with the value of what? 13. Okay, so this is our setter function. Now let's create a getter function. Getter function means basically to get the value of a. Okay, so it is going to return whatever the value of a is, it is going to return the value, right? So if now I want to call this function here in the main, then how can I do that? I need to have a variable first, so that we can store the value, whatever the value will be returned from there. Object dot getter get a is going to call this function, right? And this get a is going to access this a value, is going to return the value of a. So a value is what? 5. So it is going to return as a 5, and this 5 is going to, this value is going to initialize with this 5 now. So this is what we termed as getter or setter. By using this getter or setter function, we can access these variables inside a class. Okay. Okay, so we are going to write this dot a. Okay, so I hope do you understand this concept. Now let's just remove this all of them, and now let's talk about this. Okay, sorry. We have just discussed about how we can access the variables of a function, of a class actually. Now let's talk about the outside of a function. This is a function living inside a class, right? This is a function which is inside the class. So this will be termed as inside of class. Now let's say I want another function of subtraction, but I don't want to have a declaration of this subtract inside a class. I want to declare outside. So how can I do that? So I have taken the example of you or your home, right? If you are living in your home, then everyone can easily understand, okay, you are inside the home, that means this house belongs to you and you are the owner of this house. But let's suppose you are living outside your home, but and nobody can recognize you that okay, this house is belongs to you. So for that, what you can do, you can show them your land paper and your name outside your home. So these kind of things people usually use to recognize that this house totally belongs to me. Okay, so let's say I am going to declare a variable called subtract. So and now I want that this subtract belongs to this class. Okay, so how can I do that? I need to have something so that this subtract method is relating to this class. So we have discussed about scope resolution operator, right? So we have our return type, then class name, and then scope resolution operator, and then the function name. So return type and then the class name. So what is the class name? This is our class name. So I'll just use this one here, and now via using this scope resolution operator I am going to declare one function here, and now I can have something like cout. This is our subtraction method. Okay, so I can declare the function inside a class or outside a class. But if I need to declare the function outside the class, then I need to have something so that I it can be easily understand that this subtraction method belongs to this class. So this is how we make the mark that this subtraction method is belongs to this function. And now I can simply call this function by using the object of our class. So object dot subtract or subtract function. This is going to call this function subtract. Okay, is there any problem? Okay, So we
Yes.
got an error, non-static data member. So we need to define, I think, the public here as well. Okay, so let's remove this now for now. Okay, now one more thing I would like to discuss then. We have just seen that have you used carbon copies? Carbon copies. Let's say I have created a template to advertise, right? So I will make copies of the same template, right? Maybe 100 times or 10 times, whatever the amount I want. So I'll create the copy of the same template, right? In the same way, let's say I have just used the subtract method only one time, right? Now let's say I want to subtract one more time, then what can I do? Whenever, actually, in our memory location, what exactly happened is that okay, let's just open another. Okay, so what we have discussed about class, object and class. Let's say take an example of simple inbuilt data type int a. What it is going to do, it is going to create a memory location with the name a, right? And if I will say a is equals to 10, then this 10 is going to be initialized with a, right? This is how it happens. Let's say I'll create another variable int b. So this is going to create a different memory location with the name b, right? And if I'll say b is equals to 20, then this 20 is going to be initialized here. In the same way, class is a data type, right? A user defined data type, meaning as a programmer we defined our own data type. Let's say I want to store the details of student. So there is no any inbuilt data type in C++ where I can store the details of a student. So in that case, I will create a class with the student name, and I can declare my own functions, own variables inside my class, right? Now, whenever I declare a variable student st1 or s1, this is a variable of what data type? Student data type. Then what it is going to do? It is going to also have a memory location with the name s1, and this s1, whenever we declare any variables like a b is equals to 2 3 4, so this value is going to be initialized, right? In the same way, I can declare another variables with the same data type. So this is also going to have a separate memory location with the different values or different name as s2. So class is basically a data type. The data type which programmer defines. Okay. So class is basically that. So here we have declared our two a class with name, add two numbers, and this class does has three variables and one member function. And I also have shown you how we can have a function outside the class, but this class this function is also related to this class. So to make this connection that this subtraction method belongs to this class, we need to define something like this. Do you have any doubt? Okay, so see you in the next class.
Okay. Bye bye, ma'am.
हाँ, ये नहीं है, वो चला गया पगला।
पहले
हाँ,
ही
बोला ही नहीं।
अब तब से
हाँ।
किसको पढ़ा रहे थे?